The Clash of the Titans, the game of the decade. It is finally among us. Alabama hosts Georgia this Saturday, and guess who's going to be there? Yours truly. I'm officially making my homecoming to Tuscaloosa, back to the University of Alabama this weekend, and I am stoked. I know there's a tropical storm slash hurricane moving into that region. On Thursday, it's going to hang around for a day, maybe pushing to Friday a little bit, but it should be all tapered off by the time this thing kicks off on Saturday. There's your little BG weather report. Yes, I did have an internship at WVUA 23, the weather station at the University of Alabama, for a semester, so I am a weather guy, and it is my pleasure to give you the weather report for this game. Tuscaloosa is going to be absolutely star-studded. There's going to be so many people at this game. It's going to be the most hyped-up game in Tuscaloosa since the LSU game back in 2019, and there's so much buzz being generated about this game that ESPN started promoting it during College Football Saturday this past weekend. I haven't seen that in a long time. And I'm talking like the 11 a.m. Central Time slot. I started seeing commercials for this, and commentators were talking about it in the middle of games. Let's face it, a lot of these games this weekend were kind of slow going, so they needed something to talk about, and so they're talking about this matchup, and I think it's going to deliver. I've had my eye on this one since I saw it appear on the schedule for September 28th, because when you assess Alabama and Georgia's first three games of the season, it's a pretty favorable chance that both teams would be undefeated heading into this matchup. And so you knew College Game Day was becoming Tuscaloosa. You knew the Barstool Sports college football shows me heading to Tuscaloosa. And now you know Brian Gregoire is heading back to Tuscaloosa. So yes, it's going to be star-studded. If you've spent any significant amount of time in Alabama, Georgia, that's southeastern region in general, you know just how significant this rivalry is. And it's only been amplified these past several years as both teams have served as each other's respective gateway to SEC supremacy, to the college football playoff, and even a national championship in some circumstances. This rivalry runs deep. I mean, border states, the Chattahoochee River. It's the border. There's a lot of hatred. It's a very deep rivalry, and I love it. I want all the smoke. I want all the animosity. That's why a game like this gets me excited. 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 Eastern. The sun will be setting. The lights will be flashing in Brian Gregoire Stadium, red and white, thunderstruck. It's going to be absolutely nuts. But let's tee this thing up here. Let's talk about the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia has been the most dominant team in college football these past three seasons. Since the beginning of the 2021 season, Georgia has only lost 2 games. In many ways, Georgia has emulated Alabama when it comes to culture, when it comes to depth, when it comes to the way that they go about things. And it shows on the football fields. They play just complete football games, physicality. They complete every play, and they're thorough about each and every single detail. Their attentiveness to detail has only equated to Alabama these past several years. So caps off to Georgia for that. However, there were several games last year and this year in the instance of Kentucky where Georgia's had these strange lapses on offense. And it culminates into these baffling droughts. I don't know what causes it. Georgia will just start games where they just cannot get anything going. They cannot get the Pistons pumping on offense. They can't get a complete drive to save their lives. You saw it against Georgia last week. You saw it against South Carolina last year. You saw it against Missouri the year before. There's just these games where Georgia comes out. You saw it Kentucky again a couple years ago, and they're up in Lexington. They can't get the Pistons pumping. It's been a theme. They're mostly dominant, But there will be those 1 to 2 games every year where Georgia is just kind of flat. That can't be a trend that happens on Saturday. Georgia needs to get it going offensively very quickly, or else Alabama can swallow them up. As far as the depth of roster goes, I think Georgia has the edge. Georgia also has the edge when it comes to continuity. Of course, Kirby Smart has been there for just about a decade now, and Alabama's on their first-year head coach. However, what did I just say a few minutes ago? Georgia has only lost 2 games since 2021. Here's a trivia question. Who did they lose both of those games to? Oh, yeah, Alabama. You can crunch all the numbers that you want. You can assess a game as analytically and objectively as you want. Sometimes in sports, it's just as simple as the opponent has your number. You saw it with the Rays and the Yankees for years. You're seeing it here with Alabama and Georgia. Alabama just has the blueprint to beating Georgia. Evidently, nobody in the past 3 years has figured it out. Only Alabama has. Alabama had a very shaky start against South Florida several weeks ago, and it carried into the fourth quarter. But when you saw how Alabama bounced back after making an adjustment on the offensive line in the fourth quarter, they looked scary. That offense really got flowing, and they went bang, 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 bang right down the field each and every single time against the Bulls in the fourth quarter. Ran the score up into the 40s, which you would not expect. And that trend just carried into the following week against Wisconsin. They were flowing on offense, a lot of great rhythm. Alabama is just a nightmare matchup for defenses because you have to contain Jalen Milroe's mobility and you have to contain the explosiveness of Ryan Williams. When you have to worry about 2 dynamic players like that at the same time, it can cause fits for defensive coordinators and defensive players. And that's an edge that Alabama is bringing to all their games this year. I don't think that Georgia has a playmaker like Ryan Williams on their offense. You could see somebody emerge on Saturday. I have not seen it yet. Ryan Williams has shown these past couple weeks, even though he's 17 years old, he's the guy. And Jalen Milroe can be error-prone, but when you find somebody who can couple both mobility with being a threat throwing downfield with deep passes, that's scary. That's what beat Georgia back in December, and I think that's what's going to beat Georgia this Saturday. Alabama's at home. It's going to be electric. This is going to be by far the most dynamic Alabama game I've ever been to. And this is going to be a battle. This is going to be like Rocky and Drago against each other. However, at home, give me the Tide. Give me the Tide. 30-27. It's going to be a passionate nail-biter. Georgia is favored by 2 in this game. That's respectable. I think that point spread is going to hang right around that range, that 1.5 to 2.5 range. I'm pretty sure it's going to favor Georgia going into this game, but my gut is going with Alabama. I could be wrong, and whoever loses this game, I just want to preface, it's not a big deal. This is a highly coveted matchup. This is one of those losses that is very forgivable in the eyes of the college football playoff. So, especially with being able to afford 2 or 3 in the case of Alabama and Georgia. I like Alabama on Saturday. I cannot wait to be at this thing. It's going to be such a fantastic experience, and hope you all enjoy watching it. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you and the time that you took out of your day to watch the video. And if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video and share it, as well as subscribe to The Era. The more likes and subscribers I get on this channel, the more resources I can attain, and the more resources I can attain, the more value I can provide to you, the viewer. And that is how I show my appreciation for you for the time that you devote to watching my videos. So thank you so much, and have a great day.